Okay, let's focus on literature in English. Literature in English. Um, we're going to recall again what we've learned in the genres of literature. Remember, we learned that literature is the act of imagining thoughts, which can be creatively put into written or oral form with various rich expressions. Now, the literature can be grouped into three types, categorized into three types, depending on how it is written. We have the prose, the drama, and the poetry. So when you see written texts that are written in complete sentences, paragraphs, pages, and chapters, they have chapters. They are written in complete sentences. They are narrating. They are telling. Such type of texts can be called the prose. Prose. And we have example where Sumaina is a type of prose. Is an example of prose rather. Sumaina is an example of prose. Clock. The clock is an example of prose. Something written in chapters, in paragraphs, they are called prose. Even your English textbook that you read, they are written in prose too. The next one is drama. Drama is usually written in acts and scenes. And then we have dialogues. Dialogues are the written form of what the characters say. When let's assume two persons are talking, say, where did you say you were coming from? And then the next person said, but I told you I would be visiting a friend. You told me yes, but you never told me that you were going to stay this long. But I did go to visit a friend. And that is why I am asking you where exactly you went. Because if you actually went to see a friend, you won't be taking this long, knowing that there are things we were planning to put in place at home. So you see, two persons are talking. As the other person talk, is what we call turn taking. As this person talks, the next person also respond, take turns and talk. Such, if it is written on a text as a text, we say it is called dialogues. Do we understand that? And mostly they are written in form of they are written in a possible form of going to be acted either on a stage or on a screen. Now, the next one we have is poetry. Poetry is another genre of literature, a type of literature where you express your thoughts. Poetry actually gives this deep imaginations, deep lines that whoever is reading it has to be very, very deep minded in order to understand what the poet is talking about. So, poetry is also a genre of literature and it is written in incomplete sentence in the form that most times the sentence is broken and taken to the next line. So, I will say it is written in lines and stanzas. Yes. Well, if you have, take for instance, if you have four, 6, 8 lines, and then jump into another one, the 4, 6, 8 lines is forming a stanza. Then you go to the next one, depending on what on the thoughts or the poet has to say or the various ideas he has to put down. So poetry is also a genre of literature, and please don't forget that it is written in lines and stanzas. Okay, now I want to tell us that all of these texts have various features that we know them for. They have various features we know them for. Every every genre of literature here has some similar features. Like it always has a setting, it has a theme, it has a setting that is has where it is acted or the story took place, and when it took place it has a theme, it has a message it is passing across. That is what we mean by theme. It usually has a plot, that is to say how it started from the beginning to the end, whether drama, prose, or poetry. they have plot, they have setting, they have theme. Do you understand? And then for every write-up, there is usually some other features like the diction, the language with which the writer is writing on. How is the language? Is it easy to understand? That's a diction. And then every writer has a mood that is placing the reader to. Is what's the mood like? Is it a painful one? Is it a happy mood? Is it an informative mood? Which one? That's the purpose, the mood. Do we understand? And then every writer has various expressions that he or she uses in order to add that creativeness in it. Remember, literature has to do with creativity, your expression, that your idiomatic expressions, your figures of speech. All these enrich your text. All these are the attractions that attract readers. All these are what gives readers interest to want to read. You understand? And then let's look at the various figures of speech, where we have the simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, irony, hyperbole, and assonance. These are easy and basic figures of speech that writers use in expressing their their piece of text, um, their piece or their text. Now we have here simile. We learnt this. We have learned this. We have here, and it's on your note. We have here simile, a comparison of two things. Comparison of a comparison rather where you use words like or as. Take for instance when you say, "Come on, you're just so slow as in snail." Do you understand? So you're comparing the person to what? To a snail, and using the word like and as. It's not it's an indirect comparison. It's an indirect comparison. Such comparison is known as simile, where you use as or like. We have things like as fast as a hare, as fast as a hare, as strong as a horse. All of these are called simile. Then the next one is metaphor. Metaphor takes a direct comparison. You are not using as, you're not using like. You are directly calling the person. Say, for instance, you feel that this person um, is very slow. Like I did talk about slowness there, and you don't want to say he's as slow as a snail. You could just say you are just a snail. Do you understand? What it simply means that the person is what? Person is slow. Do you understand? You are a snail. Or when you say, oh, you are a lion, mean the person is very what? Very brave. So here you are having a direct comparison. The next one is personification. When you give the qualities of persons to an inanimate object. Imagine when you say the table is walking. Oh, the sun smiled at me this morning. Ah, the sky is crying. Do you understand? Heaven is sky is crying. Let me use the word. Oh, the moon blinked at me. You know, these are qualities that you give to humans or you give to something living, a living thing, and then you are not giving it to something that is not a living thing, an inanimate object. When you do such thing, what have you done? You have personified the inanimate object, meaning that you have given it the quality of a person, and such is an example of personification. The next one we have in here is alliteration. You see, writers writers who know what they are doing, especially in poetry, what makes poetry very interesting is the musical feature you apply to it. Do you understand? Like your rhyme and the sound. Now sometimes you may decide to say, okay, I want whatever thing I'm saying, it must be making sense and it must be relating to the topic or the idea of your poem. Do you understand? But then you are saying that um in a particular line, you might be having the words that make up that line beginning with a particular type of consonant, like they are all beginning with you know, then sound. You understand? Take for instance where we have uh, Peter puts Peter Peter puts um okay, let's say, I'm trying to, I don't know, I am kind of losing a line here. I don't want to use the normal Peter Piper pocket. I don't want to use it. It's been so common. Okay, I want to create my own. Let's say okay, let's say Peter prays purposefully. I listen to me. Peter prays purposefully for the party. Peter prays purposefully for the party. Peter plays purposefully for the party. You see Peter beginning P, per sound, praise, per sound, purposefully, per sound. And then we have further, then we have another party again. So you see it's kind of rhythmical, it's kind of musical, it's kind of giving you some kind of musical feature, and it makes poetry very interesting. So when you see such thing, I'm talking about consonant. It is not for vowel, for consonant sounds. So it's not only lines that begin with p. It could be b, mm, b, um, mm, mm, the bridge, the bridge before Balogun. Look at that, the bridge before Balogun, the bridge before Balogun, the bridge before Balogun, bridge before Balogun. Hmm? So you see, as long as there is a um, sequential arrangement of words which begin with same consonant sounds, you call it alliteration. And then the next one we have is irony. Irony. Imagine you are given an opposite of something. Oh, he's very short, but you don't want to tell him or her that he's very short. So, tall woman, come here. Tall man, come here. You're giving the opposite of what he or she looks like, right? So, such is an example of irony. And then let's look at hyperbole, where you exaggerate. You make it look like, oh, you are making it very, very high, more than what it is. Imagine when you say, oh, I'm very hungry, very, very hungry, that I can finish a bag of rice. Imagine, can somebody finish a bag of rice at a time? I mean, a bag of rice. You know how many kg a bag of rice can be. Such example is you're trying to use it to, you know, specifically describe how much or uh, deeply how deeply hungry one is. And then there's an hyperbole. Then we have the assonance. The assonance, I would always say, is the opposite of alliteration. While the alliteration is taking the consonant sounds, the assonance takes the vowel sounds. Imagine bee, flea, the bee, flea, wheel, the bee flee wheel. So we're having the e sound. We are having the e sound. So such is an example of an assonance. It's not only in e. It could be u. It could be a. It could be air. Do you understand? When there is sequential arrangement of words on the same line, which also take the same vowel sound, we say it is called assonance. It is called assonance. So please, these are just this is just a recap of the things that we have done before now. And then please, I will quickly want to talk about uh, drama. Let's quickly talk about drama. You see, in drama we have various types of drama. We have the comedy, we have the tragedy, we have the tragicomedy. Now the comedy is usually a type of drama that's that ends happily. And then we have the tragedy. Tragedy usually ends where the hero, the person who is the major character happens to die, or something bad happens to the person. It's called such kind of drama. We call it tragedy. And then we have the tragicomedy. It's either beginning happily and it ends tragically. Such is an example of tragicomedy. Do we understand that? Okay, I think we should end it here and see us in our next video. Thank you.